In today's video, I'm going to show you how to feed your plants. All plants need to be fed, whether you're growing them in containers or in the ground. And of course, you can feed your plants throughout the year at different time frames, whether you're trying to get more blooms or more green growth. And of course, there's tons and tons of different types of fertilizers that you can get. But all plants need sunlight and water, and of course, they need nutrients as well. So we want to feed our plants. I'm going to basically show you how to do that, whether you're using a liquid or a water-soluble plant food or a granular plant food. The first thing with all fertilizers, with all plant foods, is read the instructions. Read the label, make sure you know how much to apply. We're gonna show you some examples here of what to feed and how to feed them. So first we've got this porch pot here that I'm gonna feed with a liquid plant food. You can get lots of different types of liquid plant foods, some that are specific. I'm using an all-purpose plant food for this container, and I'm also gonna water a hanging basket with it as well. So what we wanna do is grab a watering can. I think that's the easiest way to apply it. This one calls for 1 tablespoon per gallon. I've got a gallon watering can, and I've got my all-purpose water-soluble plant food. I'm gonna measure out a tablespoon, put it in the watering can, and fill it up to the gallon mark. Then I basically just shake it a little bit, give it a little shake just to mix up the nutrients really well. When I poured the water in, it probably mixed it up really well, but just give it a little shake too, just to mix it up. And then you basically just water the container. I like to pull away a little bit of the foliage when I water it, water around the outer edges, get a little bit into the center as well. You can also take the breaker off. Sometimes I'll take the breaker off my watering can so that I can water a little bit easier. You get a little bit of a fuller stream. Just make sure not to splash the soil around too much. So for this hanging basket, I'll take the breaker off and I'll use that to water the entire hanging basket. So I wanna measure the weight of the hanging basket, make sure I've got enough. And I always like to use up all the water in my watering can when I've mixed up a water soluble or a liquid plant food, just so I don't have it sitting around, because it does get old after some time. Now with liquid plant foods, you're gonna get probably about 2 to 3 weeks of feed out of it before those nutrients work their way out. So you can use a granular plant food. So on this porch pot, I'm gonna use Flower Tone. It's a nice organic plant food. There's lots and lots of different types of granular plant foods out there. The way to apply this is, again, read the directions, but basically I like to wear gloves typically when I'm handling plant food, and then I basically just reach in, grab a handful. This container calls for about a cup of Flower Tone, so I'm just gonna reach in, grab 2 handfuls, that's usually about a cup, and I'm just gonna sprinkle it all the way around the edges. Being careful, trying not to get it on the foliage of the plant. Granular plant foods, you don't want to get on the foliage. Liquid plant foods, a little bit safer to get on the foliage of plants. I'm gonna just hold up the foliage, sprinkle it all the way around the container, and then water it in. Now next, we're gonna go out and water some trees and some shrubs. Here, I'm gonna use granular plant food. I almost always use granular plant foods when I'm watering my trees, shrubs, perennials, annuals, in the ground plants, basically, even herbs and vegetables. Pretty easy. If it's a mulched area, you can see here, I'm gonna pull away the mulch around this shrub. This is an osmanthus. I'm just gonna pull away the mulch, and then I'm just gonna sprinkle in this Osmocote. It's got a little shaker top on it, so it makes it real easy. Just gonna shake it all the way around the outer edge of it, and then I'm just gonna pull the mulch back over top of it. Very, very easy. And then I can just really let the natural rainfall water this in. And then I'm gonna show you a tree. Now this is where I think a lot of people make some mistakes sometimes, is they tend to put plant food really close up to the trunk of a tree. This is a gorgeous Japanese maple. Instead of putting it up by the trunk, you wanna put it in the drip line. So the drip line is basically if we got a really, really heavy downpour of rain, where all of that water is gonna drip off around the perimeter of that tree. That's called our drip line. That's actually where all your feeder roots are. Don't always have to pull away the mulch. I'm gonna use this green leaf all-purpose plant food. You can get lots of different all-purpose plant foods. This is a traditional plant food, and I'm just gonna sprinkle it all the way around the drip line. Super, super simple and easy. With a granular plant food, you're gonna get up to 6 to 8 weeks of feed out of it. So now you can just sit back and enjoy your plants because they're all fed. It's a very easy process. You can do it lots of different ways, but this is the simplest and easiest and most effective way that'll make you successful when gardening. Hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below, and we'll see you next time.